All right. So my story tonight comes out of Mexico. Now, it's the southernmost state of Mexico, if that's what they call them, Chiapas.
Okay.
So it comes from this girl who worked in an internet cafe. And she made sure to mention that it was a nice, well-kept internet cafe where people would come check their emails, play games, right? No, she said that she was instructed to make all of the customers feel like home and just be really friendly and nice to the people. But essentially, she's the one who would put the time on the computers so that they would have a time limit. Now, she mentioned that there was one guy who would come in like clockwork every night, 6 p.m., would check his emails for 15 minutes and pay an exact change every time. And he was just the nicest guy. So he's super, super polite, but he was also really well kept too, like military haircut, just looked like a normal dude
Nothing
outside
strange
of that.
or off-putting, yeah.
No, honestly, she said he was super, super nice. Now, she said one day the guy doesn't show up, but all of a sudden 2 big dudes come into the internet cafe and start just like grilling her, asking her all kinds of questions, being rude, stuff like that. And they were both carrying as well. Like she could see them with pistols, both of them.
Pistolas.
And she like was kind of freaking out and not answering their questions. And all of a sudden this smaller dude comes in, has like this mustache and another gun as well. But he tells the 2 big guys to back off and says, "Hey, let me ask the questions." He's like, "Will you come with me real quick? Just outside?" So she like walks to the door and she sees a couple of police cars and then armored trucks. And he's like, "We need you to identify a wanted criminal." And she's like, I don't know. She walks over and they kind of open the van door and this guy is sitting there like tied up.
Like normal dude?
The normal dude, the polite guy.
Oh, damn.
Now, she also knows that around this area, police will just randomly pick a person and say they did something so that they can get money or put it in the newspaper to show that they're doing their job or whatever it is. So she's like, I got to help this guy out. So first thing she's like, yeah, no, he comes here all the time. Like every day, he's the nicest guy, like so-and-so. She said his name. And he's like, well, what kind of shoes does he always wear? Just some random A question. She's like, I don't know. I don't really pay attention. He's like, well, okay. Closes the van door, tells her, don't leave town. So the rest of the day, kind of uneventful. Nothing else happens. She leaves, comes back the next day, and she sees her manager on the front door of the internet cafe, just like eyes wide open, freaking out. And he's got a newspaper in his hand. She walks up to him and he's like, what happened yesterday? And she's like, this is like some guy that usually comes in. The police arrested him. He gives her the newspaper, and on the front page said, wanted serial killer finally captured. And this guy in his testament would follow elderly women to their house, wait for them to go in, then he would chase in after them, beat them, kill them, steal their stuff. And this normal A-looking dude that she almost helped to get out of him getting caught. And all of a sudden she's just like freaking out herself. She's like, I legitimately almost helped a serial killer get away. The end, dude.
I'm not going to lie. I was rooting for her at one point. I said, you tell those lies, amiga.
What would you...
puedes.
Hey, but for real, like I was like, oh, she a real one. Like she's
trying to help. Like it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if you know that about the police force in the area or certain police officers in the area.
And you're like, this dude obviously isn't like up to anything.
Yeah. He's just some normal A-looking dude and super polite.
Oh, gosh. Damn.
I almost got fooled by a military haircut.
Do you think she would have gotten like a serial killer pass though? Like he's like, all right, like you safe.
Well, he said that elderly women were his target.
So she was already fine.
She was already fine until she got older.
2 things. One, when serial killers get a type, that to me is like the weirdest, most intriguing, scary thing.
Yeah, dude. It's weird.
How did you come to that conclusion?
Dude, I feel like 9 times out of 10, it's like looks exactly like their mom or
or somebody they hate.
Yeah, like a girlfriend who called their wiener small or something.
Wild,
Yeah.
wild.
That was super crazy. Like, I don't know what I'd do in that situation.
I'm always intrigued by the idea of like how many monsters do you pass on the daily?
Mm-hmm.
Like how many people you know who have some like dark secrets?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe one of us in this circle. Anyway,
Okay.